Shabbat Shalom. Yay! I am Liz Hughes here tonight representing the Temple Board. It's a pleasure to see you all at our Life and Legacy Shabbat service this evening as we Zoom and live stream from the sanctuary. Before we begin, I have some information to share. As a reminder that you are part of our security team, we ask that you keep your eyes open. In case of emergency, please be aware that there are exits in all directions out of the sanctuary, including a door on the bima, which leads to the library. If you wear a hearing aid with a T-coil setting, you may access our hearing loop using your program. We do have headphones for those without that program. Large print prayer books and generic reading glasses are available as well. These are located on the table at the entrance to the sanctuary. We want to create a sacred space that will inspire prayer. Please silence or turn off your phones at this time, and we ask you to refrain from taking any photos or videos during the service. A recording will be available afterward on our YouTube channel. For our folks on Zoom, please stay muted unless the clergy invite you to unmute and participate. We may be physically separated from one another, but we are one community in prayer and celebration. As we move into the sacredness of Shabbat, let us hold in our thoughts and prayers all those struggling in Israel. Let our voices raised in song and prayer unite our broken hearts. We continue on page 12 in our prayer books to welcome in this day of rest.
Thank you. L'Adonai Nariya Litzor Yishenu Nikad Mafanav V'todah Bizmirot Nariya Lo Yadadadadai 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 Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Cantor. The pace of our lives today is very fast and only getting faster. We are often so preoccupied with the busyness of daily living that we don't pause to consider the bigger picture. What do we want our lives to mean? What do we want to leave behind as our legacy? This Shabbat, we want to share with you a communal effort that provides an answer to these questions. Life and Legacy is a program conceived by the Harold Grinspoon Foundation and implemented locally by the Jewish Community Foundation of Greater Mercer. This collaborative effort is made up of area synagogues like ours, Jewish agencies, and other organizations to promote after-lifetime giving to sustain local Jewish institutions and our overall Jewish community. The last holiday that the Jewish people celebrated, not Shabbat, but Tu B'Shvat, is the birthday of the trees. We can honor this season by planting literal seeds to ensure edible fruit for physical sustenance, and we can honor this season by planting spiritual seeds to ensure that our community remains strong for generations to come. It is with Tu B'Shvat in mind that we selected this Shabbat to honor all those who have made a life and legacy promise to support Congregation Beth Chaim after their lifetime. May all our promisors live long before their gift comes to fruition. All of tonight's English readings connect to this theme of legacy and are taken from our Machzor, the prayer book we use on the High Holy Days. While we may be more attuned to the subject of legacy at the Jewish New Year, I invite each of us to reflect on our legacy tonight on the heels of the new year for the trees. In that spirit, it's my pleasure to invite up to the Bema all present board members of the Jewish Community Foundation of Greater Mercer, including the current president, Chip Loeb, and Josh Waldorf, and the members of Beth Chaim who have been leading our life and legacy efforts, Don Leibowitz and Karen Brodsky, and I believe our other friends were not able to make it tonight. But if you can all come up to help us light those candles, Karen will share a reading to get us ready for Shabbat. And we continue in our prayer books on page 2.
Eternal presence, who blessed our ancestors, bless this holy congregation, a house of study, prayer, and righteous deeds. Together we give thanks for our leaders, those who learn, teach, and uphold the Torah, inspiring others to learn, teach, and uphold the Torah, for those who do the sacred work of building our community. May their service bring them joy, fulfillment, and purpose, and may they go from strength to strength. For our members, diverse in age, interest, and background, Jews by birth, Jews by choice, and those of other faiths who join with us, all who offer their time and talent, their love and commitment. For all who come here on this day of rest, to share the search for meaning and renewal. Your presence is a blessing, your friendship a gift. May the spirit of peace, dignity, and respect live within these walls, inspiring us to care for one another with compassion. And may we be a source of goodness, light, and healing for the world. May the one who blessed the generations before us bless us as we join together this day. One congregation joined with all Jewish communities of the world through our prayer on this Shabbat. Let us renew ourselves for the week ahead. Let us honor the precious legacy that is ours.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
I hope you'll join me in thanking these incredible leaders, joined by others who weren't able to be with us tonight, for all you do to support our community. Thank you both. Thank you, Karen. All right. We continue in our prayer books on page 17.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho.
Bottom paragraph.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Lehar Kocho.
Oh, ki,
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 ki, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
ki,
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 ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho.
Pages 20, 21, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Yalla la 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 chadodi. Yalla la 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 li krakala. Yalla la 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat ekabla. Yalla la 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 chadodi. Yalla la 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 li krakala. Yalla la 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Leshem u'tiferet ve'litila. Yalai, yalalai l'chadodi. Yalalai l'krakala. Yalalai pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Ki hi mikor haberacha. Merosh mikerem nesucha. Sof maaseh b'machshava techila. Yalalai l'chadodi. Yalalai l'krakala. Yalalai pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri. Ki ba'orech umi ori. Uri. Shir daberi. Kivod Adonai alaich nigla. Yalalai l'chadodi. Yalalai l'krakala. Yalalai pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
We face the entrance.
Boi v'shalom. Ateret ba'ala. Gam besimcha uvsohola. Toch emuneh am segula. Boi chala. Boi chala. Yalalai l'chadodi. Yalalai l'krakala. Yalalai pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. kamala. Yalla la 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 karodi. Yalla la 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 li krakala. Yalla la 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 panay Shabbat. Dinay Shabbat nikabela.
We turn the page and continue with that indented text at the bottom. Page 22.
Tzadikata amar Yifrach ke'erez bavanon iskeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvu b'seva deshenim v'rananim yihiu lehagi ki ashar Adonai tzuri velo avlata bo.
I invite you to turn to your neighbors, greet one another, Shabbat Shalom. May we meet somebody new, someone you don't know very well. To all of our friends on Zoom and YouTube, Shabbat Shalom. We continue on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish as we stay lifted in body or spirit and turn to face Jerusalem.
Yitgadol v'yitkarash Shnei Rabba V'yamad yivrach Yerutev Yamlich Malchuteh B'chayechon u'v'yomechon U'chayei techol Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala U'vizman Kariv V'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam u'almei amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitharar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei dekudasha Brichu le'ela min kol birchata V'shirata Tushvechata v'nechemata Ta'amira me'alma V'meru Amen Yai lai lai Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai lai Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 Yai lai 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 lai.
In a moment, you'll just need that single line of Hebrew at the bottom of page 30. We stand before God who calls forth our strength, The nobility and truth of our history is in God. In God, the source of our survival, our firm stand through trial and change. Ours is a history of spiritual greatness, a legacy of spiritual dignity. We turn to it when we are besieged by insult and attack. We look to it when need and suffering press in upon us. From generation to generation, the Eternal led our ancestors. The one who leads us through all our days will lead our children through theirs. We stand before God, strengthened by reverence for the sacred obligations of Torah, ennobled by a commitment to do what is just and right. We bow before God, stand upright before all people. In a world of tumultuous change, we are steadfast. We serve the Eternal. With humility we say, our faith is in God, whose call is compelling. Our response will shape our future.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv ha'aravi.
Page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. Torah umitzvot, Chukim umishpatim, Otanu limadta. Al Kain Adonai Eloheinu, B'Shalmeinu u'B'Kumeinu, Nasiya B'Chukecha, V'Nizmach B'Divrei Toratcha. U'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem neged yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated as we continue with the words on our screen.
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all of thy might. In
them diligently unto thy children. And thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, and thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, and when thou risest up, thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto thy God, unto thy God, unto thy God. As we read in the Babylonian Talmud, Ravatat, when we are led in for judgment in the next world, we will be asked these questions. Did you conduct your business honestly? Did you set a time for study? Did you leave a legacy for future generations? Did you have hope in your heart? Did you get your priorities straight? Did you enjoy this world? Were you the best you could be? We continue on page 40. Adonai Yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai Yimloch leolam va'ed. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim.
Spread the shelter of your peace.
Spread the shelter of your peace over us.
Guide us.
Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu
name.
Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Top of 44. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashemayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. We invite you to rise in body or spirit for the Amidah, our central prayers, often of petition, but mostly of praise on this Shabbat. Page 46, we continue on the even pages. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei v'Neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atavra v'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach u'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Mechesed, Mechayei HaKol Merachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei
הגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, בחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated as we prepare for our liturgy's words of peace, Shalom Rav. On page 60, I offer up an English prayer on the same theme. Great is peace, for all blessings flow from peace. Great is peace, for without peace no blessing is complete. Great is peace, for even in times of war, the hope for peace is undiminished. Great is peace, for peace is granted to those who repent. Great is peace, for peace is the inheritance of the righteous. Great is peace, for peace is granted to those who love and study the Torah. Great is peace, for peace is granted to the humble. Great is peace, for peace is granted to those who do justice. Great is peace, for God's name is peace. Great is peace, for peace is equal in weight to all the works of creation. Great is peace, for even heaven needs peace. Behold, if peace is needed in heaven, where neither hatred nor strife is found, how great the need for peace on earth, where hatred and strife abound. Great is peace. Shalom Rav, page 60.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Israel Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Israel Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, Lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, Lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
As we offer up a moment for silent prayer, I'll invite you to look to the screen for a testimony by longtime congregants of Congregation Beth Chaim, Jerry and Scott Schaefer. Scott is both the past president of Congregation Beth Chaim and of the Jewish Community Foundation. But I also invite you to offer up your own prayers this Shabbat, the needs and the wants, the yearnings and the hopes that we all share. We'll come back together in just a moment on the next slide.
When we speak of life and legacy, it goes beyond just the people in this room. It refers to all of the Jewish people. There's no people that knows how to persevere and continue legacy quite like the Jewish people. So the refrain that we'll come to again and again in this piece is a little like this. As we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along. Try with me. As we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along. One more time. As we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along. And so it goes. Our tale from long ago made our exodus under the cloak of night. Barely escaped through miracles and faith. It has to be better on the other side. None of us know how long we have to go until our wandering may finally be complete. The doubt creeps in, patience wearing thin, as we fight to outlast the heat. Up ahead we may only see the desert, treacherous through the sand and wind strong. Leave behind all the burdens and the shackles as we keep moving along. So we must keep moving along. And years ahead, our message still would spread. Kol ha'olam kulo. Our teachers still remind us of the will we needed to surmount our ancient woe. Nonetheless, we push forward and press to constantly improve the world we see. We may not finish the chore, there will always be more. Planting seeds for our children to have trees. Up ahead we may only see the narrow, a single bridge that is dangerous and long. Leave behind all the fears and the worries as we keep moving along. So we must keep moving along. Wherever you go, I will follow. Going forth into Abraham's great unknown. Wherever you go, today and tomorrow. And through all of the legacies our people have grown. we keep moving along. So we must keep moving along. As we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along. Oh, we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along. As we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along. Up ahead, we are facing a new journey with all our strength, love, community, and song. Let's leave behind all the limits we assume we might have as we keep moving along. So we must keep moving along. As we keep moving along, so we must keep moving along.
Thank you, Cantor Goldstein, for sharing with us your original composition that really speaks so incredibly beautifully tonight. Yes, you may not have caught it on the slide. Stop. But I wanted to be sure you all knew. Let us turn to our prayer for healing, page 253 in our prayer books. A melody that feels like it came from Sinai. As we look on the screen at so many names of people in our community or people connected to our community in need of healing. And in a moment, I'll ask you to add to those names anyone else in need of healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, and healing of the soul. Together, when we lift up our voices in prayer, we send out that incredible power for healing to all who need it. May we all live that long and healthily. Judaism goes to 140, though, just so you know. 120. May ad mea v'esrim. I got my numbers mixed up. Go for it. For all those and many more, we turn to these powerful words of healing in the middle of 253.
Misheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Judaism has several words in our tradition for legacy, which is often interchangeable with inheritance, and I learned even the word heritage. The Hebrew word that most frequently comes to mind when I'm thinking about the word legacy in our sacred tradition is Yerusha, also related to a similar word, moreshet, but this thing that gets brought down from one generation to the next. And as I was poking around looking for some juicy Jewish texts on that use this word Yerusha, I found the following from Pirkei Avot. Pirkei Avot is a spot in the Mishnah that doesn't really belong. The Mishnah was a legal compendium finally edited by the year 200. That is a lot of opinions from a number of different rabbis, but organized by topic. And Pirkei Avot is sort of snuck into a section that it doesn't really belong to, but basically a lot of aphorisms taught by the rabbis of those early generations, 2,000 years ago. And so I came across this text by Rabbi Yossi. He uses a very familiar structure, is a list of 3. They loved lists of 3, 7, 10, 12. These were some of the important numbers in the rabbinic tradition, but at any table with 3 legs will stand, no matter what the length of legs are. So 3 tends to be the uniting factor. But let me share with you what Rabbi Yossi said. Let the property of your fellow be as precious to you as your own. Make yourself fit to study Torah, for it will not be yours by inheritance. And let your actions be for the sake of the name of heaven. And at first, you might think that these 3 things don't have a lot in common, but let's pick them apart together, shall we? Let the property of your fellow be as precious to you as your own. Judaism is a community tradition. This isn't something I get to do by myself. If we think back to the first siblings in the Torah whose story doesn't turn out as well as we might have liked, Cain murders his brother Abel, and God says, "Where is your brother?" And what does Cain say? "Am I my brother's keeper?" And what is the Jewish answer to that question? Yes! I am my brother's keeper, my sister's keeper, my next door neighbor's keeper, my sibling's keeper, my relative's keeper, the person I don't know who lives around the corner or lives in another state or lives in another country's keeper. Yes. The answer is yes. And so, just as I need to watch out for my fellow human beings, that which belongs to them is also under my keeping as well. And maybe Rabbi Yossi is talking about physical property. I shouldn't, throw garbage onto my next door neighbor's lawn, or, if I'm going to borrow his chainsaw, I make sure it goes back in working condition. Sorry, there was a chainsaw incident in my family last week. There's a group of Beth Chaim men were sharing the chainsaw. But, make sure it's in working order when you return it. Or is Rabbi Yossi thinking this a little more holistically, not just physical property, but also just how we behave with that which doesn't belong to us? That we're careful with people's compassionate hearts, that we're careful with people's souls, that we really think deeply in how we behave with one another. And just as we wouldn't want our own hearts to be broken, we seek to prevent that heartache for others. Number 2, make yourself fit to study Torah, for it will not be yours by inheritance. Torah is that thing which binds us all as a religious community. Its stories, its values, its teachings and instructions, it is an important legacy. But if it just sits in that holy cabinet and collects dust, it does me no good. Number of medieval rabbis are trying to tease apart this particular teaching. What if my parent was a great Torah scholar and their parent before that was a great Torah scholar? Shouldn't that make me a great Torah scholar? No. Anyone in here who's ever looked at Torah text before can tell you it's not easy. I see a number of our Torah study regulars in the room right now. You got to work at it. You come back to the same portions year in and year out, and guess what? Every year they're different because so are we. It doesn't happen through osmosis. Just like knowing how to take care of your neighbor doesn't just happen. It happens when we teach each other what matters. When we reinforce how we want people to treat us, and therefore how we practice treating others. And we don't always get it right. But that's why we have to keep returning to the study, the text. That it's a beautiful legacy, but only if we use it. And then that third point, and let all of your actions be for the sake of heaven. That our intentions should always be lofty. I'm going to miss the mark. I'm not always going to get it right. But if I am trying to behave in a way that would make God proud, then God is proud. And of course, that's why Jewish tradition has such a rich understanding of how to make it right when we mess up, because that is also part of the process of aspiring for something greater. But let's go back to this piece of legacy. It is work. It is effort. It is not always easy to maintain the tradition. That is why in our twice daily prayers, the rabbis put in, and you shall teach these words to your children. Those words we just sang in the prayer via hafta that we call the Shema via hafta. When we wake up and when we lie down, one of the many things we have to remember is to teach the Torah to our children. Because they're not going to get it through osmosis. They're not going to just wake up one day and have a whole understanding of what this community and this tradition means. It's rich, it's nuanced, and that takes a lifetime of engagement. And that brings us to tonight. Life and Legacy Shabbat, where we get to honor, in just a moment, all of the people who have already said, yes, I want to be sure that this legacy continues on past my own lifetime. And any others in the room who might be thinking, I might want to join you. Life and Legacy was a national initiative first launched, I mentioned earlier, by the Harold Grinspoon Foundation, and the goal was to secure the future of Jewish organizations through the growth of endowment and reserve funds. So building up wealth that can be used over the long term. And an effort to grow funds with the addition of legacy or after lifetime giving would then provide a future line of income. We know that revenue is an important piece of what the congregation needs today, but we don't want to only be planning for today. We also need to be thinking about tomorrow, our children, our grandchildren, and so on and so forth. We recently celebrated the 50th anniversary of this congregation, and we want to be sure that there's at least 50 more years, if not centuries to come. And there's lots of ways that a life and legacy promise can look. We have plenty of details to be shared after services. We have some handouts for everyone who's interested. But just to give you a sense of what the options are on the table, you can leave Congregation B'chaim in your will, either by listing a gift specifically or adding a codicil. You can make Congregation B'chaim a beneficiary of a retirement plan or of a life insurance policy or of a donor-advised fund. And that is what the Jewish Community Foundation does best. They're a holding place for many donor-advised funds in our community. It goes to benefit both the foundation and the local Jewish organizations. And you might be wondering, if you haven't yet made a promise, why you might want to. Well, the great news is you have a lot of folks in the room who'd be delighted to share with you why they said they wanted to make a promise. But to give some of the reasons that we often hear, people want to give back and make a difference. They want to show a commitment to being Jewish, making a statement that I care about it now and for after my time. Many people also understand that they wouldn't be here without the legacy given to them by their parents and their grandparents. And so thinking about paying it forward in that way. For many people, I see folks in the room who've been members of Congregation B'chaim for decades. And a place that has been a part of your life for so many years, there's a strong sense of wanting to make sure that it continues on. And even if your experience at Beth Chaim has been short, but it's been meaningful or shorter, it's been powerful, it's touched you in an important way, wouldn't you want that for others? And of course, many of us want to invest in Beth Chaim's future. And especially if you don't find yourself in a position now to give a large gift, thinking about a future gift might feel more meaningful or more doable in your position in life at this moment in time. So there's lots of ways this can look. We'd be delighted to talk to you about the options on the table, but I just want to plant those seeds to go back to that Tu B'Shvat metaphor and share with you the names of all of the promisors of Congregation B'Chaim. If I call your name, I'm going to invite you to stand. You're going to stand in your place at this moment in time. We have the names on the screen. And then when the service is about to come to an end, I'll invite you all up on the bima to help us lead Kiddush and to bless the congregation, because your gift is an incredible blessing to our sacred community. But I want to thank by name Sherry Barsky, Alana Berlinger, Ann Berman-Waldorf, and Josh Waldorf, Camille Bloomberg. We'll name myself, and my husband's at home with the children, Diane and Jeff Boyarski, Karen Brodsky and Don Leibowitz, Leslie and Gary Fox, Sharon Hoffman Manning, who often joins us by Zoom or YouTube, Liz and Justin Hughes. Liz, I believe, is in the lobby, womaning the fort. Eileen and Mark Janofsky, Michelle and Harvey Case, Joyce and Jerry Kalstein, Sandy Kurinsky and Michael Katz, Mindy and Richard Lippman, Judy and Chip Loeb, Michael Manning, Julie Martin Kolb and Jonathan Kolb, Lois and Jeffrey Miller, Les Nagler, Carol and Stephen Parker, Danielle Sadock, Jerry and Scott Schaefer, Adria Sherman, Holly Singer and Richard Eland, Paula and Charlie Small, Ronnie and Drew Staffenberg, Robin and Dan Valentine, Diane and David Weinstein, Rhonda Wydra, Phyllis and Michael Zeke, and 10 others who wish to remain anonymous, but there's the same amount of gratitude poured on those folks who would prefer to support from behind the curtain. And so I want to be sure that we name them as well. And so I offer on behalf of our sacred community these words of blessing. In this week's Torah portion, Parashat Truma, God spoke to Moses saying, "Speak to the children of Israel from every person who is moved by generosity of the heart, accept gifts for me." We celebrate this legacy of those moved by generosity and free will to build and establish our very first holy communal structure, the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the traveling house for God in the wilderness. Our ancestors gave of gold, silver, and copper, purple and crimson yarns, fine woods, and items from near and far. In that same vein, each of you has made a promise to support our sacred community beyond your lifetime. Like our ancient ancestors, you have chosen to make a gift from the heart that will benefit generations to come. So we offer thanks to you who sustain us. Toda Rabbah. Thank you very much. And I'll invite anyone who's not standing to give these lovely folks a round of applause. I'd have you sit, but we're going to turn to the Aleinu, which is a standing prayer. So we're going to come back to our prayer books, and I'm wondering if Hannah and Laura might want to help me open the ark. It's okay if the answer is not tonight. But we're continuing on page 282, opening that ark to remind us of why we're all here. And there was a Big D event tonight, and so we're really glad that they didn't go home right after the Big D event, and they stayed with us. So invite all who are able to rise to join us as we reveal our sacred scripture and praise God. 282 at the top.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 287 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Imagine a beautiful mountain spring, pure and clear, full of freshness and power. It descends from the highest peaks, flowing down to water the floor of the valley. So it is with the souls of those who came before us. The beauty of their lives still flows down to their descendants, renewing our will, restoring our faith, giving us the power to act as they did, inspiring us to reach higher, to grow in strength, in courage, in generosity. And so we are taught, each of us is obligated to say, when will my deeds reach the level of the deeds of my ancestors? Let us cherish what we've learned from beloved family, friends, and teachers. Their memory comes to us as an inheritance, an ever-flowing stream of goodness and blessing. Let us drink deep and remember. As we turn to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom, our prayer of mourning, I'll share the names of those who are remembering this Shabbat. If I call your loved one's name, I invite you to rise, and then we'll join together as a community on 294. We name several whose families are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. Erwin Wishnow, father of Kim Wishnow-Purr. Hal Panzer, husband of Eileen, father of Rob and Greg. Our congregant Maurice Silberman, and Alan Carlton, husband of Diane Carlton. And remember the yard sites, the anniversary of the passing of these loved ones. Yankel Ben, Benjamin Berman, Ira Breiterman, Annette Foxman, Richard Frankel, Irving Ferminsky, Ann Goodell, Blanche Holzman Goldfinger, Esther Greenbaum, Natan Israel, Betty Judson, Max Leibowitz, Philip London, Valerie Mendeleev, Evelyn Mole, Massey Polikoff, John Rifkin, Arthur Silverfarb, Margot Simmons, and Marcia Yaverbaum. I invite all others to rise in body or spirit as we offer up these holy words. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah
Amen.
V'alma tivrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memory always be a blessing. You may be seated as Camille has a few announcements for us.
It's been wonderful to be together tonight for Shabbat. I am Camille Bloomberg, and I'm here representing the Temple Board. A huge thank you to all of our Life and Legacy promisors for helping to ensure that Beth Chaim is here for generations to come. We hope this opportunity to spiritually connect, learn, and celebrate with your Beth Chaim community was meaningful to you. Beth Chaim's building and offices are closed this weekend through Monday in observance of President's Day. However, you can still prepare for the Purim, for Purim and support Beth Chaim by ordering your Hamantashen from the Men's Club and your Purim greetings from Sisterhood. This is also a great time to purchase your tickets for Casino Night. It's going to be really fun. You need to come to that event.
Well, hold on. If you have tickets already, raise your hand. That's right. Well, I mean, kind of.
It's the event of the year. It's on March 9th. It's a whole weekend that we're celebrating Cantor Goldstein, who's with their installation, and we're very excited about that. Torah study is tomorrow morning at 8:45 on Zoom only. Join us next Friday at our 7:30 Shabbat service as we honor our multi-faith families.
So we're inviting all of our multi-faith families, so families where there may be one partner who is not Jewish or not yet Jewish. That depends on the family. We'd love you to come and to celebrate you and honor you.
We have many exciting events on our calendar. Keep checking your Beth Chaim emails on our website for information on all of these programs and more. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Now, if you have a green ribbon on your name tag, come on up to the bima, please. All of our Life and Legacy promisors, we need your help up here on the bima for our closing song. So if we can get to that next slide, please. That really talks about the need for one generation to prepare for the next. And then you'll help us with Kiddush, the sanctification of this day of rest.
The door of a door from generation to generation. We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history and song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'dor vador nagi god lecha. L'dor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name. I'll do some call outs, don't worry. Looking back on the journey, that we carry in our hearts, that we carry in our hearts. From the shadow of the mountain, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that will part. We are blessed, and we are holy, we are holy. We are children of your way, as the words that bring us meaning. We will have the strength to say, L'dor vador nagi god lecha. L'dor vador we protect this chain from generation to generation. L'dor vador, these lips will praise your name.
All right, we're going to turn to page 5 and invite everyone to rise and body our spirit. Page 5 for Kiddush. We're going to do Kiddush a little different tonight. So we're just going to have some symbolic juice, everyone. All right. Canner's going to help lead us in prayer.
Sure am.
And why don't you go ahead while I get us squared away? But
Sounds
just
good.
from a L'dor vador moment, I could read the words on the balcony when I started at Beth Chaim 9 years ago.
I don't know what that says about me if I'm already squinting at that screen. Next fundraising task. We're looking for a bigger screen for those up on the bima. All right, we will bless together as the wine is flowing or the juice is. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh. זכר יציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל עמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
All right, and for our closing benediction, it's not just going to be me on the English. All of our promisors are going to help bless our community tonight. So we're doing it all. So Canner will sing a line, we read a line. Canner sings a line, we read a line. Here, if you'll take and pass. Here, I'm going to keep one just so I do the same words as you. All right. Once they go around. So a little spin on our usual minhag, our usual tradition.
Well, as you've blessed our community with your promise, we want you to help bless us right now, too. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon us, and may God be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yaseh lecha shalom.
May God never leave us, and may we be blessed with peace. And together we say,
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, promisers, we're going to stay up here for a little photo op, if you don't mind. Thank you all so very much. Oneg was before, so you're welcome to chat, but that's all we have for you.